Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me. And I am an over-the-road reefer driver with 4 years experience. I've been at the same company the whole time, and I'm going to tell you 3 mistakes that all rookies make. And whether you're a rookie or you're an experienced driver, I want you to comment below with whatever your story is and embarrass yourself the same way I'm about to embarrass myself by telling you the following stories. So let's get started. Okay, mistake number 1 that all rookies make. You will lock yourself out of your truck. Absolutely. Not lying to you. It will happen. And even if you have keys around your neck, like I do, like I have had from day one, it can still happen. Quick story. Probably not so quick because I'm like that. I was at the end of my 14-hour shift. I parked at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was bright and sunny. I was at a Flying J. There were trucks all parked around me. And I needed to leave out as early as possible when my hours came back because I needed to be 300 miles away by 10 o'clock in the morning. And I jump into the front seat and I'm trying to put another shirt on. I'm trying to start up the truck because our Qualcomm doesn't start up. And so that we can message dispatch until you start the truck. And I didn't even realize it, but my bare breast is coming out of my shirt pocket, and the guy in the truck next to me is going, ha ha ha. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I've had them since I was like 10, okay, I'm not totally used to them, no big deal, shut your mouth. And it's bright and sunny, and there's like no trucks around me except for that idiot guy next to me. So I get the trucks finally gets the Qualcomm running, and it says I don't even have hours back. And I'm like, how could that be possible? And then I realized it was 8 o'clock at night. And that's when I start using the 24-hour clock on my phone rather than your typical 12-hour clock because I didn't realize it was 8 o'clock at night. So I said, oh, now I'm laughing. And, I straighten my shirt out and I get off the truck and I grab my phone, head inside, and I'm talking to my friend. And I'm telling my friend how stupid I was. And so I come back out to the truck, go for my keys. They're not there. They must have gotten thrown off when I changed shirts inside the truck. So I said, oh, well, at least I was smart and I had a hide key. So I go to the frame where I hid the little magnetic hide key, and guess what? It wasn't there. And I was like, you gotta be kidding. It was wedged inside the frame. But who knows? One of those, construction sites probably knocked it out and I didn't have a key. So no wallet, no key, no credit card, because that's all locked inside the truck. I had to call up dispatch. Thank God I had my phone. I was able to get a comm check. They advanced me cash for my pay, to cash a check. So a guy comes and takes him like 2 seconds to get into my truck, and that's a $150 bill. Now, the way to prevent this is that when you get your truck, the first thing you do before you even go look at it is go make copies of that sucker, because you need to put 2 or 3 all over the place, have spares, have one in your wallet, have one in your purse, have one around your neck. You just get to the point where you have keys all over the place so that something like that doesn't happen. But it didn't only happen once to me. I didn't learn, because 3 years later I swapped trucks, and it turned out that the key making machine was down when I went to go make the key, and the guy said to me, well, come back in a couple hours, it's being serviced, blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. Well, I forgot. And I go out of the terminal, and I had just come back from like almost 8 weeks of surgery, seven weeks, something like that. I don't know. Right. And I come back on the road. It's my first day, and you're just getting back into your groove. And first, the fire extinguisher exploded when I hit a bump in the road. I hit a pothole, and it was just like, it wasn't even a pothole, it was like a dip in the road, and the nozzle fell off the fire extinguisher and yellow stuff just went all over. And I called up my fleet manager. I was like, you know what, my fire extinguisher just exploded and I don't even care. I'm covered in yellow and I'm just going to go to the thing, but I'm going to have to stop and get a new fire extinguisher and get the truck clean. And he was like, wow, you're having an interesting first day back on the road. I'm like, yeah. Then I get to the location where I'm picking up the trailer, and I get out and I'm inspecting the trailer, and I go to get back inside the truck. Again, I had my phone and the keys were inside the truck. And I should have known better. I really should have known better. I should have waited for those keys. I should have made the keys. I should have, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It was a Sunday in Pennsylvania, and this time it cost $250 for a guy to come and get into my truck. So, lesson learned. So that's mistake number one everybody's going to make: locking yourself out of the truck. I know people that have done it in the fuel island. I know people have done it in security gates. So whatever your story is, comment below, because I want other people, I want newbies, I want people that are thinking about getting into trucking, I want them to see this so that when it happens to them, they don't feel like such a fool. Number 2, you are going to jump the fifth wheel. Some people call it high hooking. Basically the kingpin, like say this is the kingpin and here's the fifth wheel. You should be hooking around it, but that's not what happens. You kind of like go underneath of it and then you get stuck and you can't pull back out. Now, rookies do it because they don't have any judgment on the height of the trailers yet. Experienced drivers do it because, well, I'll be honest, sometimes I just get lazy. It's sleeting, it's cold outside, and it looks pretty good until I start to back up and then I realize, oh crap, that didn't work. So how do you fix that? Because it's basically the fifth wheel's on a slant, so it gets stuck behind the kingpin and it can't pull forward. So what you do is you put a hammer down here on the one side to level it out. I'll when I get a camera, which I promise I'm gonna, I'll make sure I make a video about this, but you basically like level it out, then drop your airbags and you can slide right underneath the fifth wheel, right underneath the kingpin with no problem. That's how you do it. And yes, I did this as a rookie. I didn't know what to do. I was so embarrassed. I was at this customer. It was 4 feet of snow outside in Wisconsin. There was nobody around to ask, and everybody I was calling, nobody answered. And I was like, holy crap, I don't want to tell the company because I was only a couple weeks out and didn't want to feel like an idiot, didn't want them to think I was stupid, So I did wind up finding somebody that I swapped trailers with. And she's like, yeah, just shove a hammer under that one side, drop those airbags, and pull that sucker out. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm sorry. I do. I feel like a moron. And she's like, everybody does it. And it's funny because when I talk to people, when I talk to trainers and I ask them, do you teach your students that? One of the responses I get, not from everybody, but from quite a few people I've gotten was, well, everybody does that. Right, everybody does that, so why don't you teach them how to get out from under it? Some people are just morons. Okay, number 3, you will have some sort of accident. You're going to scrape a trailer, you're going to back in and tap something, you're going to, you're going to do something. Trust me, you're going to do something. And you might as well get it in your head now that it's going to happen. When it does, it's not the end of the world. It's part of the learning experience. That doesn't mean that I'm saying go roll a truck and, everything's going to be hunky-dory and wonderful. But I'm saying that, there are certain things out here that you're going to wind up doing, and it's part of the learning experience, and you're just going to have to live and learn from it and make things better. One of the main reasons things like this happen is not understanding the amount of space you need to turn, to swing. You're also still getting adjusted to pulling that trailer behind you. So you jump up out of bed and you walk around, do your pre-trip, and then you jump in the seat and you feel like you're about to drive a car. So you pull out and then you turn and whoops, I just nailed that trailer on my left-hand side. And now I feel worse because it was on my driver's side, so I should have seen it. Duh. So that will happen. You have to just learn to use as much room as possible, swing as wide as you can, pull forward as much as you can. When it comes to backing, always goal, which is get out and look. Make sure you do that constantly. That's part of learning how to back. And I didn't understand that in the beginning, so my trainer would sit there and go left, 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 right, right, right. And then as soon as he wasn't in front of me, I couldn't do it. The only way to actually figure out the maneuvering capabilities of these trucks and the trailers is to actually get out and look. Back it up a few feet, even if you count so many seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 5, 1,000. What? Yeah, I skipped 4. Okay, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. When you go to back up, then you know, okay, well, in those 5 seconds it took me to count, the trailer moved X amount of feet. And it'll help you to slow down and figure things out. And to learn the angles, because it's really about angles, and it took me a long time to realize that. It usually takes like 6 months for backing the click in somebody's head, and I'm going to be honest, it took me a year, maybe a little bit longer. And the other reason that people have problems with backing is, well, obviously it's hard to do. Hello, you got a 53-foot trailer, or maybe less, but you got a 53-foot trailer behind you. And you're not always in places you can do straight line backs, but you're in busy places. You have forklifts driving around, you have cars driving around. Sometimes you have to back across the street and block all the traffic, and you have truckers that are like flying around you not caring, and sometimes they get really mad. And what I've learned is you have to do a couple things. One, you have to detach your emotions. Oh, well, that guy's over there, he's blowing his horn, he wants you to move. You are in his way. He can't go anywhere unless you move. So he's going to have to wait calmly and patiently for you to get into your space. That's just the way it is. And you have to actually detach from that kind of thing going on around you, or it's going to make you nervous. There were 2 instances where, one, I was in a Flying J, and I was trying to back up, and this guy just came up against me, like so close that I could punch his Peterbilt grill outside the window. He was that close. And I got annoyed, and I was really new, and yes, I was taking a long time, but I'm sorry, I was taking a long time. I know he was tired, but I was tired too. So, I pulled my brakes, threw my hands up in the air, and I said, now what? I'm not moving, now what? Because you can't get past me. So the only way for you to get out of here is to turn around and do a U-turn in the middle of the aisle. And he starts screaming, when'd you get your license? Oh, calling me every name in the book. I'm the B word, I'm an A word, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yesterday, so leave me the hell alone and just let me do this. But I finally got in. And he didn't like it. It took an extra 10 minutes or whatever, but oh well. Such is life. There was another time where I was in a place down in Texas, and I was trying to back up. I was fully loaded, like 45,000 pounds, and I'm trying to back up a hill on gravel, and the gravel wasn't catching, so I was sliding back forward. And again, I was new, and I was afraid of the trucks behind me and people that are flying around me, and this guy was in front of me, and I couldn't pull forward. So, because of him. And what happened was, every time I start to move back and then needed to pull forward to straighten out, he would get closer to me, so I didn't have the room to pull forward. So finally, I just threw my hands up, pulled my brakes, jumped in the sleeper, and shut my curtains. And I was in the middle of the aisle. I didn't care. I was blocking all the traffic. And he sat there for a couple minutes, and then he came over, knocked on my door, started screaming and yelling, what the F you doing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I was trying to park, but since you're so ignorant and didn't give me any space, I just decided I'll park where it's safe for me, which is right here. Well, before you know it, he started screaming and yelling so bad that security came over, and they were like, you can't be yelling and screaming at other drivers like this, especially we don't take it that you're going to scream at a woman like this, so we'll either kick you off the property or make sure that you never come back. And the guy was like, I've been waiting here 2 days to get unloaded, and now I get my door, and she's in my way. And the manager came out from the office and was like, well, do you want to sit here for another 2 days? Because with that attitude, that's exactly what's going to happen. So, the other piece of advice I have, besides just detaching the emotions from the people that are around you that are trying to put pressure, is to know that dispatch knows you're new. They know that you're going to screw up your times. They know that you're worried about backing. Calm down in that respect. When it comes to backing itself and trying to learn how to get that trailer into that space, think of it like a puzzle. There were times that I was punching the steering wheel and crying and screaming and yelling, and when I finally sat back and said, how the heck do I get this into this box? And I said, would I be upset and emotional if I couldn't finish a jigsaw puzzle or a crossword puzzle? No, I would just go find a way to do it. I would find a way to finish the puzzle. So that's what you have to do. And not everybody out here is going to be mean and nasty like I just described. And honestly, when it comes to women drivers out here, most of the men are going to jump out their truck to help guide a brand new woman driver back. They really do. And if they see you're new and they're parked next to you, they will most likely jump out of the truck to help guide you back because they don't want to be the one that gets hit by you. Honest to God truth. But you also have to make sure that you look on the other side. Don't just trust them because they're only making sure you don't hit their truck. They don't care if the front of your trailer hits the guy on the other side. If you hit something, it's your fault, regardless of who's guiding you. So again, always get out and look, see for yourself, learn how the truck maneuvers. Now, I want to see what you guys have to say. I want to see your comments, questions, concerns, all that good stuff down below. And I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.